All right.
Wait, yeah.
And we are live. Good morning, beautiful people. I am Jamil. Got my great
Ira.
host, Ira. We have another great, illustrious guest for you guys this week. Super excited to introduce Venn. Ira, please tell us about Venn before we continue back with the conversation we were having before we went live, because it was awesome.
You know, as we like to do it, we like to keep it conversational. And we literally were just talking to Venn, who is founder, developer of Afrobubble. And these guys just actually launched their pre-sale, sold out. And as usual, we are popping off up in this NFT space, people. We are so happy to have you. So actually what happened was last Sunday, because we've got our upcoming NFTs Future Business of Art virtual summit popping off on December 2nd. You want to get your tickets. The ticket information is everywhere. Get your tickets. But we've been doing these face-to-face meetups at Samela Cafe and Studio in Hartford. And I also wanted to try something. I wanted to be able to go onto Clubhouse, bring the Clubhouse audience into our physical in real life meetup, and as well get our in real life folks who, some of which are just learning about crypto, just learning about NFTs, just learning about metaverse, get some of those folks communicating with the Clubhouse folks. Such a supportive community then came through, and it was beautiful. I was loving listening because it was a little bit. Yeah, we got to turn that off. But it was a little bit difficult to do this because, loud music or whatever in the background on my end. But I loved some of the conversations that Ben was leading and moderating in the space, especially with Maven from Guap Foundation. And we just wanted to get him in here and listen to what he has to say. So Venn, man, thank you for coming to us from Nigeria, from the motherland. This is so special to me. You are the first, I think maybe even the first African interview that we're having, with someone in the motherland right now,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So for me, this is super special. We keep talking about NFTs being and blockchain technology being a great equalizer. Take it away, bro. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ira. Thank you, Jamil. And, I'm happy to be here. It's always vibes. Like, at the end of the day, that's really what this NFT is all about.
Yeah.
That space is really all about, man. It's community, it's meeting new people. And one thing I, shared, right, with the Afrobubble community is that the greatest utility of NFTs is friendship. And nothing surpasses that. Like, you add like the yachts, going partying, but that's all, human interaction and bonding. Like if you even look at the metaverse, right, it's really just how we can improve that interaction, digitally. So
Absolutely.
I'm really bullish about NFTs, right? And I've been like that for like since the beginning of this year. And I think it's something I explained with Ira a while back. It's like simple. Like if you look at cryptocurrencies and how they've sort of emerged over time, is that first of all, you had these assets that were just speculative, right? People were they own these assets and all they could do is think, oh, will they go up or will they go down? Mm-hmm. Then DeFi came in that was like, oh, now you can do all functions that a bank can do, like with your assets. You can invest, you can lend, you can borrow, so it's really improving. But let me tell you why NFT is really like the game changer, right? Is that imagine having money, like you just having money. And the first thing you're thinking about money is that will it go up or will it go down, right? Then the next thing you're thinking, oh, I can invest my money. But the real use of money is is an exchange of value. It's barter. Right. And with NFTs was really the first time people with cryptocurrencies could pay for something, for a product or service online.
Yeah.
Meaning that cryptocurrency began to have its full-fledged meaning as a currency. And with that, you must understand this is that, so people that had maybe 10,000 Ethereum in their wallet that they were just keeping, for whatever might have happened, is that now, I can buy stuff with it. Like Hell yeah, they'll buy a body yacht club. Like if I was able to buy Ethereum at $70, right? Like I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy anything that is worth my Ethereum because now I'm not thinking about the dollar value. I'm thinking about the Ethereum value. I'm thinking
Right.
about
Right. Right.
I'm not. So when people think about, they bought this for $1 million. No, the individual bought it for 400 or maybe like 490 Ethereum or like 200 Ethereum. Like it's really that mindset that is totally different, right? And so with NFTs, looking at it from the collector's point of view is that it's access. It's access to barter, it's access to trading, it's access to doing a whole lot of things. Then for the creator, it's this, is that finally, if I was earning especially if I was a creative, right? And it could really transcend into brands, but this is just looking at it from like a creative position, like I'm an artist, is that I was probably doing gigs on Upwork, Fiverr, I was making $10, $50. But hey, someone just told me about OpenSea, about Foundation. And I just created something that I'm passionate about. And it sold for $1,000. I'm gonna tell my friend, man. I'm gonna tell everybody, like, bro, like there's a money printing machine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what
Game
is
changer
is that your product is now accessible to a global audience that values it.
Right.
Whatever it is you are, like, they look through your story, they look through everything. And for most people, especially the collector, ownership is important, right? Ownership is always going to be important in terms of how humans think. Is why, in fact, that's why wars happen, right? Because people want to own land that is not even for them, And so for people like, just having these things and knowing that I own this piece of art, it's psychologically, relevant in terms of just building your confidence. And so for me, this is NFTs, right? Non-fungible tokens, one-of-a-kind tokens, right? And so like, imagine like yourselves now, you guys are one of a kind, and they bring you on chain, and they begin to like, auction yourself, or that's really what's happening. Or you have Lionel Messi, and right now, and maybe to get Lionel Messi, who is a footballer, right? Or like let me say LeBron James, who's a basketballer, and you want to take him to the next team, and basically like to get LeBron James to the next team, you have to like sort of pay for his tokenized asset.
He is non-fungible for sure.
He's non-fungible. He's one of a kind, right? There's no other LeBron James, right? So this is just like the potential of the space, right? And it can delve into how brands sort of verify authenticity. You can have a Rolex, and instead of them giving you like a certificate of what they give you, they just give you the token address for the Rolex you own. So when you look at the long-term value in terms of NFTs, in terms of just what it is, authentication, ownership, representation, and community, is that this could go into ways brands really dive into the world and really just experience it. And then the interoperability with the digital verse is another conversation for another day. But yeah, these were some of the things I saw, I noticed, and I was like, we need our own representation in this space, right? Like as Africans, as people of color, not only is this happening, but we have to be part of it, and we have to sort of harness the potential of it to create, systems that work for us. Like, because if you look at the metaverse, because I've listened to Doc, he's on Twitter and Spaces, and here's something he opened my awareness to, is that the metaverse will also change how education comes about, right? So basically people will be going into digital schools, learning globally. Like if I needed to be in Harvard, I might not necessarily need to be physically present there. I will participate virtually, and it will feel intuitively, and I will harness the knowledge I need to expand. And here's the thing about life, right, is that with more education within one side of the equation, is that you're going to see development. Like if you need to teach, like give kids the concepts of growth, technology, blockchain as young ages, what you're going to see within that environment is that you're going to see a utopian society that you didn't know was possible. Because then, it's like Michael Jackson was learning how to sing since he was like a kid. Like, what
Right.
else do you expect from that level of, like when you get to that level, you're going to expect perfection, So how we harness this technology, how NFTs really transpose, into the space is something that will be really magical for each and everybody. And participation was so important, right? Participation was so important.
Yeah.
Getting people, sorry, I got caught. Getting people involved and getting our people involved is priority, and that's my goal right now, right? And so we had to think about several things, right? How do we, in this space, like how do we make sure that everybody can participate in terms of retail? Like, so if I tell my grandma or my mom, hey, come into NFTs, you want a situation whereby they're not asking you, oh, why do I have to pay $100 to get into NFTs, when I haven't bought the product? Why do I have to pay an extra $300, an extra $400, And then that's hard to explain, right? And you can have that for people who are well versed within the space, right? But we want global acceptance. So meaning we had to think about what chain had little barrier to entry and where to build on. And also we had to think about creating a marketplace. A marketplace dedicated
Brother,
to
you
that.
busy, man.
Yeah, I was just thinking to say like, yeah.
So one of the biggest issues is that it's connected to it's connected to my laptop. So like it rings on my laptop.
Oh, I know how that goes.
Yeah, I figured that's what was happening. It's okay, bro.
Yeah. So that's one thing we had to think about, right? And for us, we had to think about the chain we're going to build this marketplace, this niche marketplace whereby, when having a conversation with the average Joe, or the lady that, oh, this is what you need to do. All you need to do is, buy this currency, come on here, you see what you like, you pay for it, it comes into your wallet. You don't need to pay logistic costs, and you don't need to pay an extra fee for delivery, which is what it feels like on Ethereum. Like it's like you're buying a product for $100 and you're paying like $500 for it to get to you. And so, and how do we create these stories as well? How do we make sure that our stories are are spoken of and by us, right? Like, because that's something, ownership, like I said in the very beginning, is very important. And who owns the value we're giving off to the global audience is also very important. Even the platforms where this value is being embedded on has to be very important, has to be well created, because we have to find a way to keep on enriching ourselves in order to build this ecosystem, especially for people of color, and and Black people. Because like I said earlier on, the dynamics is this, is like once resources can move from one place to the other, is that you have this balance. The reason why the world feels the way it is because a certain group of people have most of the resources and the other group of people are highly dependent on them. So but with the blockchain technology, NFTs, we can participate in this. And these are just some of my philosophies between the space and what I'll be doing in terms of why we are building and what we're trying to do.
It's absolutely fascinating. Just even before we were recording, you were just it was just apparent after I tuned in that you were very self-aware of this space and how you can make your imprint on it. And just listening to you explain your beginnings into getting into the space, and making your first sale, really experimenting with this new space and then finding these benefits from it. And now saying, wait a minute, let me throw in my research. And, you kind of explained it how every creative would go through that type of process, right? Even before that, you explained how you were a freelancer. I've been a freelancer for going on 6 years now. So I know exactly what that feels like to find something new, to get new information, research it and apply it. And now you're doing this with this NFT project, Afrobubble. It is so dope. First and foremost, the artwork is just incredible. Anytime I look into anytime I look into an NFT project, that's one of the first things. It's the artwork. It's the artwork and the community that they kind of go hand in hand, but the artwork has to get to me first because I'm that kind of person. But community comes very close to second, and you really express how important that is. And I see the good and the bad of how an NFT project can go either way, right? Where it can go to these types of toxic levels of people just wanting to buy something because they want to make profit, right? They're just trading. They're just looking at this as a piece of stock and trading. And there's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, there has to be a vested interest, a communal vested interest for success. That's more, you know, morally, you know, appetizing for that, right? So it's incredible how you express that, and it's I love your roadmap, man. Like Ira said, the pre-sales already sold out, and it's for obvious reasons, right? You know, you have a strong community, and it seems like it's a valuable community too. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys just take a look at the artwork here. So now, have you announced the public mint yet?
So the public mint is November 20th, which is Saturday. So at 9 p.m. So we're gonna 8 p.m. UTC, which is 9 p.m. Nigerian time. So what we're trying to do, right, is this. So we've shown, and if you go through our Twitter as well, we have a video out of the comic edition, because we wanted to merge two things, right? The art and world building and story building. And here's the thing, right? If you look at great stories that have been told over time, and just great movies, whether it's Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, you know, if you're a manga, you know, Naruto, is that when you get, and if you look at those communities, they're very religious in terms of how those communities, in terms of the terminology, the things that people say, and just a whole lot of things, right? Is that when you can do that, you can give value to that community in terms of having discussions about the story, what you're trying to build, where it's going to. Like, these are just some of the things that are very important when building, right? Like, you always have to think. And so we wanted to combine that. And what we have here is actually a dystopian future, right? Where we have Queen Amina. And if you just do a bit of research on Queen Amina, you realize that she was really like the Alexander of her time, right? You know, she was this very strong queen. You know, she married as many husbands as she wanted. You know, she was conquering lands. And so we had to think about that strength and put it into like our own futuristic concept and sci-fi concept. So basically what we're trying to do is like, it's something like Samurai Jack. So if you ever watch the cartoon Samurai Jack, is that you have this queen who, like, you know, in her time, a series of events happened and a certain destruction occurred, right? So now she has to go 10,000 years in the future to sort of fix that event and come back and really fix what happened prior to that. So find the loopholes and everything. And now she's going into a foreign land whereby, you know, people know of her, but she doesn't know of them. You know? So people know her as queen in the past. And, you know, there are different tribes, you know, because of the events that have occurred, some of the tribes have mutated, you know, there's a bit of fantasy to it, you know. So she has to, within this period, find a prophesized Bob, because she's not even like the savior, right? There's somebody within that within the story that is the savior, but she's like, you know, let me say like the Gandalf to, what's his name? Lord of the Rings, you know, just let me, or like Dumbledore.
Yeah.
You know, so she has to go through that, find this individual, you know, and take them through the process of getting all the elements she needs within these 9 clans that are against each other and have all their attributes. Like, you know, you have the Vinshu clan, which are like mercenaries and, you know, market people. You have the Mingset, which are, you know, they're warriors, you know, you have the Ogaraka, which is like, you know, ogres and, you know, really green people. They live in the forest. You know, you have the Washasha, which was even present within they were part of the people that created the AI that destroyed a couple of things, the Omega bots. You know, you have the Kovu clan, which are like hackers, like, you know. So it's this little elements we're trying to like add to like the storytelling to keep people engaged over time. So we want people to really enjoy the whole process of the story. So the Afrobubble cinematic universe is something that we're prioritizing as well. And, you know, we also set up a YouTube page. And so these are things we'll be dropping steady, you know, in terms of, so we have a plan here for the comic and the anime. The comic will come out first because it's easier to like, you know, draft drawings first than to build an animation. And we know how this space moves, right? So, you know, people are like, oh, what's next? You know, so you want to keep them involved.
No.
You know,
and no, it's a good move.
So we have
It
the
acts as
comic
a
series, and we're
validator
going
too,
to
right? It acts as, yeah. It's
yeah.
nice.
So we're doing the comic series, and sorry, I think there's a mistake here. It's 5,400 bobs, just to make that clear, not
Not the
9,900.
999. Got you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
5,400 bobs, and yeah, so there are 600 clan. There are 600 members in each clans of the 5,400. You know, 9 clans, 600 members is. So clans are rare, guys. So if you're in a clan, you're just 600 of you. You know.
Right,
So,
right.
but this was what we were trying to build: the Afrobubble cinematic universe to drive real life, growth in terms of participating, not just on chain, but giving the audience and the community this value off chain, whereby you have this story, this comic book series, and we're looking at dropping 2 every month and running it through 4 years. So it's going to be that's about 96 editions of the copy. And what we also want to do is drop the front page of the copy to existing holders of the bobs, which will also be available to trade on a marketplace that we're building on. So trying to give people the utility in terms of keepsakes, in terms of collectibles as well. That's something that's very important to us. The next bit is the Afrobubble.art, which is the marketplace we're working on, and that is to onboard Afro-inspired projects. Regardless of where you are, as long as you're an Afro-inspired creator and your art speaks to the motherland, it speaks to our skin color, it speaks to who we are as individuals, we'll be listing you on our platform to the global audience on the Solana blockchain. Then we're looking at providing several utilities for that to holders of the bobs, whereby if you own a bob, you want the listing fees are 0, and you get airdrops of some of the collections, right? And you also get a discount in terms of bidding for these artworks, where the company pays for the rest to the artist. Those are some of the things we're looking at for utility in terms of the Afrobob holders. And lastly, we also want real life things, right? So we're working on merchandising because the artwork, it looks great on products.
I'm a huge fan of it. I'm a huge fan of it. Yeah, it's so different.
Let me get this
I'm
out.
annoyed with myself that I didn't get the pre-sale.
So we're just working on, this is still in the works, right? Just trying to, and we're testing it out, right? We're working
I will be a tester, please.
So yeah, definitely some across. But we also want it to be really fashionable, right? We want it to be street style, bucket hats, really, really dope. We don't just want to have prints on shirts, right? We want to create a brand for that. And also look for ways as that company begins to grow in terms of purchases and sales, look for ways to incentivize. So bob holders get a discount on any merch they want, and look for a way to also have a pot dedicated for bob holders in terms of revenue and earnings. And we're looking at this in a way whereby it doesn't affect the SEC a lot, because this is taking something that was real. It was more we're just dashing people money. Or, we're just gifting people, money, but gifting it to people who are holding our currency. So that's something, actively looking at in terms of utility long term. So we want to create a brand from this. That's the truth, right? We want to create a brand anchored on the marketing avenue. So even real life hangouts and meetups, right? So something in our utility is, travel. And we currently have a competition going on, right? So people who mint a bob will be able to meet us in Kenya or Rwanda, this December. So we're doing it for 3 people. And long term, we're looking to partner with a couple of, tour companies, whereby people who want to come to different parts of Africa get a discount on trips, as long as you hold a bob, right? So if you come into Lagos, you come into here, Burna Boy, Wizkid, or you're going to Rwanda, just to enjoy the scenery, or Zanzibar, we want to be able to, give bobs, a discount on those trips. And this is just some of the things so that we hang out, we have fun. It's not just online, right? It's not just about the blockchain. It's also about physical meetups, also about interacting. Like I said, the greatest utility here is friendship. And, just find how many more people we can hang out with, chill with, and vibe with. That's really what we're trying to build. And we're here for the long run.
Oh my God, it just makes my heart feel so good, bro. Because when we think about what we're doing, the conversations I told you since 2020, Jamil and I have been having these conversations. What does it look like? What does it mean to build a Black tech future? And I think, we were talking about topics like Afrofuturism. That, what I just looked at is Afrofuturism, people. Here's one great example.
To the team. Yep.
Beautifully.
Yep. Absolutely. It's I can't wait. I'm definitely going to be involved in a public mint. I see where you're going, and I understand exactly, because this, again, I relate to you in terms of how to do research and how to build things, and it's awesome to see you do it. I want to be involved with it. I will definitely be there for that public mint. I need to get my hands on one of these bubs. The artwork is just it reminds me of like Picasso, right? Like Cubism type,
we get that all the time.
I'm sure you do.
Well, you got to think about where he got it from. He actually got it from the motherland. That's where Picasso got most of his inspiration.
And that's very true. And that's very true. That's very true. So it's we bringing it right back.
Facts.
Jem is here. Jem was live on YouTube. Oh, hi guys.
Hey.
How's it going?
What's going on, Jem?
Jem is a project manager for Afrobubble.
Hey. Jem keeps me on my toes, right? Jem is like, we haven't done this. Like, what's happening?
Oh man, you gotta have that.
Us project managers.
So as a creative,
I love it. It's important. The team, Ira pretty much showed the she was holding on the website. The team, it's made up of 4 of you guys, and if you see their titles, that is like the essential positions and roles that you need for an effective team. And you see it when you see this website, right? You have the visionary in Venn, you have the project manager in Jem, who's putting all together. You have the great artwork. I'm sorry, I can't pull up his name right now. And then you have your developer, and making sure you have these pieces. That's what makes something successful. Of course, you can try to do an NFT project by yourself, but you won't build something like this. They're dropping on Solana, and they did that with full purpose of breaking down these barriers to entry, because we all know with people who are collectors on the Ethereum chain, these gas fees can get ridiculous. So with the Solana platform, which is catching fire with these degen apes, I got me a fancy Frenchie off of Solana. so I've been involved with Solana. Yeah. So it's an exciting space. It's really catching fire. And Bubs is just another addition to that. I'm super excited, guys. The public mint is going to be Saturday, November 20th. So what time is that again? Because we need to get that for our Eastern and Western Pacific audience.
So 8 p.m. UTC. 8
p.m. UTC. All right. Well,
so
okay.
So that's about let me say like 6 hours differential, which would be about maybe like
we'll do that, man.
2 p.m. 2 p.m.
Like that. Okay.
2 p.m. is
is that what it is? 2 p.m.
Yeah, so when break,
right, cool.
about 2 p.m. Eastern time.
All right, perfect. Ira,
3
anything else
p.m.
before we wrap it up? 3 p.m.
3 p.m. exactly. Yeah.
All right, cool. 3 p.m. November 20th, this Saturday. Afrobubble.io, go mint. For Solana users, if it's the same thing, if you got an account on OpenSea, just get a Phantom wallet or another wallet that's that can be on the Solana chain. Super simple to do. I set up my Phantom wallet in like 2 seconds, the same way I set up my MetaMask wallet. So it's not, and then you just got to exchange some stuff. It's really not complicated, guys. You're not gonna be sorry. Like, this artwork is dope. Gas fees way cheaper, so why wouldn't you do it? It just makes sense.
Oh
yeah,
show them the map.
Oh yeah. Very expansive universe that you guys are building. It's really dope. That's exactly how a brand is built, with expanding all these things that you guys, and that is how a successful NFT project is made. Having community first, but making sure you understand what the brand is and how dope shit needs to be. Like, people need. Oh, sorry, my iPod's about to die. But people need to know that it's dope. They need to want to have this. I want to have this, and I can't.
I want it, people. Listen, before everybody leaves our show, want to remind you, December 2nd, 4 to 8 p.m. We are hosting Connecticut's first and one of the biggest, basically amazing virtual summits. It's NFTs, Future Business of Art Virtual Summit. You want to get your tickets now. You can find us at blacktechfutures.media. And when we're talking about Black art, and when we're talking about Afrofuturism, we're sitting right here with the people creating some of the most amazing content that you're going to want to get down with. We've got some amazing speakers coming through, moderators that you probably, if you're on Clubhouse and you're in any of these NFT rooms, these are the people you're going to want to see. And these are the people who are talking about it all, dropping game all the time.
You want to be there. You want to be there.
December 2nd. There's a lot of awesome stuff going on too, people.
Yeah,
you're not going to want to miss that either.
We're going to have fun.
You got the DJs.
Don't miss it, guys. Don't miss it, guys. Everybody should miss it. Like, you're going to be there, man.
I'm going to show off my bob. I'm going to be
yeah, right? Dang. All right. I love you guys. Thank you.
Now, take care.
I'm loving the motherland all up in the space. This is amazing. Thank you, guys. Good luck with everything. Definitely good luck.
Have a great day, guys.